from Bhagavad-gītā as it is, chapter 2, text 54. Arjuna uvacha sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sthitadhi kim prabhasheta kim asita vrajeta kim. I repeat. Arjuna uvacha sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sthitadhi kim prabhasheta kim asita kim vrajeta kim. Can someone please read the translation? Mataji, Prabhu, anybody?
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Sure, Mataji.
Arjuna said, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak and what is his language? How does he sit and how does he walk? Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Come on, next one, please. 55.
Shall I read the shloka also?
Okay, Mataji.
Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmayevatmana tushtah sita pratyatochyate. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, and he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you for reading. Okay, we may stop sharing the screen, Prabhu. Thank you. So yes, so 54 and 55. It's another question answer session, right? So till now we have seen in the second chapter, Lord is explaining to Arjuna. The entire message of Bhagavad-gītā is already spoken as like an introduction. It's already spoken. Again, it will be explained further in each chapter. Arjuna asks the question and Lord answers, and in a different aspect he answers it and makes it all clear. So here, Srila Prabhupada says here in a lecture that the lecture was from, I missed the date. This is December 16, 1968 in Los Angeles. So he's giving from 46 text 46 to 62. So he mentions that here Arjuna is put in the position of an ordinary person. So though he's a devotee and he knows everything, he has been associating with the Lord, serving the Lord so long, but still he was put in a position of an ordinary person so that this authentic message could come through Arjuna. So now after 5,000 odd years, we are hearing this message, we are reading this, we are discussing this. That is by Arjuna's medium. So Arjuna was put in such a situation, but Arjuna was not an ordinary person, but by the arrangement of the Lord, Arjuna was put into such a dilemma while on the battlefield along with his relatives. He was put in a bewildering situation so that this message could be spoken. So now Lord said, the 39th verse, Lord says that so far I have explained from the analytical study point of view, the difference between the body and the soul. Now, from the point of working for the Lord, so how do we put our intelligence in the service of the Lord? So the Buddhi Yoga, that aspect is coming from after 39th verse. He speaks that, and 39th verse he speaks. Till now, he has spoken in terms of analytical study. Now, hear from me while I explain further. So he explains further here the previous 51, verse 51, we see by engaging in devotional service, we get freed from the work in material world. So by engaging in devotional service, then there are so many in the further slope 52, 53, there are so many things in the Vedas. But when our mind, our intelligence is fixed upon the Lord, then we no longer get carried away by the flowery words of the Vedas. So in Vedas, the purpose, as we all know, all of us already hearing and reading and connected for so long. So most of us know, but for my own purification, I'm just repeating. So the Vedas mainly deal with taking a person, elevating a person gradually from an animalistic life to a elevated life. So from slowly it takes on a path. But ultimately in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā itself, within the Bhagavad-gītā itself, Lord says, either you choose the long path, you go through all the Vedas and understand me, or you just understand the essence of all the Vedas, the person to be understood from all the Vedas, that is the Lord Krishna himself. So he says, 15th chapter, 15th verse, he says that purpose of the Vedas. And then Lord says, your mind, intelligence, everything should be fixed upon me. Then Arjuna again asks, okay, such a person whose mind, intelligence, everything is fixed upon the Lord, how do I identify? What are his qualities? What are his symptoms? How do we identify a person? That's what Arjuna is asking here. And how do we identify a person? So this first thing is, how does he speak? So ka bhasha, how does he speak, and what is his language? It's most important thing. Prabhupada mentions we cannot identify a person whether he is a fool or he is a knowledgeable person. We will not understand unless he speaks. So if a person is well dressed and he looks from a very aristocratic or rich family, he looks very gentle man, but unless he speaks, we will not understand whether really he is a knowledgeable person or is a fool number one. So if he speaks, as soon as we start speaking, the audience will understand, okay, this person is he is full of knowledge, or he has half knowledge, or he doesn't have any knowledge. Will understand. So fool, Prabhupada mentions it is said that a fool is undiscovered as long as he does not speak, and certainly a well-dressed fool cannot be identified unless he speaks, but as soon as he speaks, he reveals himself at once. The immediate symptom of a Krishna conscious man is that he only speaks of Krishna. So if we see in Nectar of Instructions, the initial verses, the second verse we see, Atyahara Prayasascha Prajalpo Niyamagraha. So the 6 things which will lead us down, which will take us down is, somebody is unmuted, please mute your background. So the Prajalpa. So anything other than Krishna is Prajalpa. So the person, when he speaks, the more he speaks Krishna, the more he uses the word Krishna, or he quotes Krishna, and the scriptures will understand, okay, he has some knowledge. We can understand the level of knowledge based on what he speaks. So that's the first thing, the speaking. So if we either speak of Krishna or we speak other than Krishna. So whatever in the next of instruction it said, whatever we speak other than Krishna is nothing but Prajalpa. So that will only take us down. It will not take us to the path of progress towards Krishna. So it will take us away from Krishna. Shadbir Bhaktir Vinashyati. So it will take us to, it will destroy. Now, it will destroy our whatever devotional service, whatever bhakti we are developing gradually. It will be destroyed if we engage in this activity. So one of them mentioned is Prajalpa, so the speaking. So Arjuna is asking here, how does he speak? How does he sit? How does he walk? What is his language? So he's asking the symptoms, so that by reading this, we also try to develop those qualities, or when we are seeing these qualities in a person, we understand, okay, he's a situated mind and intelligence, everything's fixed upon the Lord, he's a devotee, so we have to respect him, and we understand. So we have to understand that part. So the symptoms Arjuna is asking, first is about speaking. So the next comes about how does he walk, how does he sit, how does he walk, how does he sit. It all basically means how does he work, the actions, what actions are, how does he behave, how is he able to fix his mind and intelligence, everything upon the Lord. Still he is working. How is he able to work when he's given up all the thing of enjoying the fruits. So Lord has said, now I'll tell you about giving up the result of the fruit, but still working for the Lord. How to do that? So the Buddhi Yoga aspect. So Arjuna is again asking, how does he do that? So in the 55, verse number 55, Lord is answering this. So the 54th verse, what Arjuna is asking, one question, there are sub points to that is further explained, answered in the further slokas, 55, 56, like that. The Lord says, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, his mind is purified, just in self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. So the first thing comes is the desire. We see that kama yasha, krodha yasha, the lust, we want more, the desire, the anchoring, whatever sense gratification, anchoring, that's the first thing. When we have that, slowly, then first lust, greed, anger, everything comes. If the lust is fulfilled, we want something, we have so many desires, we want this, we want that. If it is fulfilled, it converts into greed. We want more of it, we want more of it. If it is not fulfilled, if people are not listening to, or people are not following us, or respecting us, or listening to us, then we get anger. So like that, first it comes with the lust, it comes with the desire. So everything comes with the desire. So here Srila Prabhupada mentions the purpose that we cannot artificially impose, we cannot artificially force the senses. Okay, don't see anything, don't hear anything, don't eat anything. Cannot artificially impose. It's like we are giving pressure, we are applying pressure. Imagine we are applying pressure on the senses so much that at a point it bursts out. So instead of that, so when it bursts out, will become will go to a rebellious state that will neither be spiritual or not be material platform. So we have to understand that. So we have to not apply artificial pressure, but instead we have to apply the senses in the service of the Lord. That's when we get to the purification. We can purify the senses. Next, we can purify the senses, mind, intelligence, everything we can purify and apply in the service of the Lord. So we see, the Lord says he will take the direct control. He reciprocates according to the level of surrender. For the pure devotees, he directly takes control of the senses. It takes directly control of the senses, mind, and intelligence. He directly take control because they have surrendered so much to the Lord. So according to the level of surrender, he reciprocates to us and he takes direct control over us. So just we have that analogy of a chariot. So in the five horses, there are senses, then the mind, then the intelligence, and then the soul is there. So just imagine if we give the ropes, if we give the mind to the Lord, the Supreme Lord who is present within us as the Paramatma, if we give the control to the Lord, then everything will be taken care nicely. So that we dovetail everything in the service of the Lord, whatever we have and whatever desires we have, not only just the material things we have, whatever things we have, also the desire. So everything, it comes thinking, feeling, willing, everything we have to engage in the service of the Lord. That's when we can claim ourselves to be devotees, or so-called trying to become devotees. So otherwise, what happens is we take refuge in our own mental concoction. Srila Prabhupada mentioned. In the Vedas, there are so many different things mentioned. So we go behind one of them. Okay, if we do this, we'll get that. If we do that, we'll get this. And go behind something. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, 1 point, forget the number, 1.5.10, that's it. Whatever words that do not describe the glories of the Lord, it's like the pilgrimage for crows. Whatever is glorifying the Lord, it is the place of pilgrimage for swan, hamsa. So we have to rightly identify where we are. Are we in a crowd of crow or a crowd of swan? So we have to understand that. So we have to take devotee association. We have to take devotee association and understand that. So Lord is saying, first we have to control the senses. We have to come out from the desires. If we don't come out from the desire, if we get carried away by the desire, then we fall down. We go away from bhakti. So we have to stay in the process of devotional service and the path which Srila Prabhupada has given us. So we have to follow this, that we have to engage our senses, mind, intelligence, everything in the service of the Lord. If we engage everything in the service of the Lord directly takes over. He'll give the required knowledge. He says in the 10th chapter, he says that from him comes everything. He's the source of everything, and the knowledge and the understanding, everything he will give if we surrender unto him. If we try to understand the Lord, he will give us the required understanding and the knowledge. So that is a natural position of a devotee, that he engages everything in the service of the Lord. So all of us are trying to follow this path which Srila Prabhupada has given us. Thank you, Prabhu, Mataji, sir, daily inspiring each of us to join and attend the morning program, chant, attend Mangalarti, and discuss Bhagavad-gītā verses. So thank you, Prabhu, Mataji. Let's unmute one time and chant Hare Krishna together, please. Hare Krishna, Mataji, Prabhu. Please unmute.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada.